Both guys scrambling to get back to their feet.
Tom Kong Watson dominated pretty much every aspect, other than the fact that John Phillips probably hit a little bit harder than him when he did connect.
So, Chris, Tom has got to be very careful for when he decides to shoot in and take his man down, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's really got to pick it, but he can't hesitate either. The more time that he lets John Phillips get comfortable, he's going to set up his punches.
So we all have Watson one round up as we go into round two now. And Rob, I'd expect him to want more of the same by taking his man down, surely.
Yeah, I think so, but for me, Phillips needs to keep this upright. He just threw a beautiful combination, hooked up, hooked to the body, and you can see his boxing is graceful.
Watson moving well, though. Sorry, Chris, I was just about to say Watson moving well, though.
Well, he stepped inside for a single, had it. Somehow Phillips got an underhook in underneath and brought him back up. But what I was going to say is it sometimes throws boxers off when you do start to throw those long-range kicks, because all their setups are based on, proper boxing techniques. So when you do throw in the kickboxing aspect of it, sometimes it can be a real nuisance for them on how they're going to set up their counter punches.
Watson being very active at the moment, muscling his man at the side of the cage, throwing some good knees.
Yes, those knees sinking in to the midsection and trying to get through to the head. That's guarded, but the midsection has been free and he has found it. And again, it goes right in through the midsection there, that knee.
Watson trying to work a few shots, trying to work his way down, looking for the takedown again. Johnny Phillips looking for the guillotine choke. Jumps to guard. It could be on. He's holding tight on that neck.
Wow, what a shock that would be if Phillips actually won by submission over the more schooled submission expert in Tom Watson.
Tom Watson's head pops free.
Yes, there was the opportunity there.
Watson stalks his man with a big right hand. Comes down into side man.
And overall, it's been a very sensible game plan by Watson. He's minimised the risk, minimised the damage that he's taken. Because I agree with you, Chris, the one thing that impressed me about Phillips is the power he can get from short punches. And yet Watson's done a good job of avoiding being hurt or hit cleanly.
Well, he's got short hooks to the body, and when he throws straight punches hard, there's power on both of them. But he's got excellent setups and fabulous power. We're at ringside, and we can literally hear the punches whipping by.
But Rob, despite that, Watson in control again.
That's right, made the transition to John Phillips back, looking maybe for the rear naked choke as he softens him up with a few shots. John Phillips moves back to his back. Tom Watson, mount position, top position.
Now Watson bringing his mount up a little higher.
Thundering shots to the body.
Yes, with just 2 minutes left, it's Watson in control again.
Moves to put the knee on stomach. Postures up, fires the right.
Phillips threw a little short uppercut from the bottom there that hit Watson right on the chin.
Which, as you said, Chris, he's always alert, and he's managed to avoid a lot of the heavy punches himself. We talked about Watson's defence, but Phillips as well has been very clever on the ground now, hasn't he?
Well, he's been resilient, and he's put himself in good positions when he's been in a dangerous position. But right now, Watson has an arm around, a possible choke. So it's looking a little rough right now for Phillips, but he is getting controlled by Watson. Watson's doing a beautiful job keeping the good positions and scoring points. Well, he's gotten a knee in every time he's had a good position.
Those two were devastating knees. Phillips instantly dropped his arm back to cover up, moves to his back, looks to find his way back up to his feet, but Watson not allowing it.
And Rob, Watson's been impressive, hasn't he, here?
He has. I'm very impressed by Watson's ability to control this fight. But it's not always controlling the fight. Sometimes you've got to finish it. And that's where I feel Tom Watson's lacking at the moment.
Well, when you can finish the fight, you climb up the ranks a lot faster. But there's something to be said about a guy that can control and dominate you the whole time during a fight, too. But, that becomes a problem when you're facing a heavy-handed fighter, because the 1 minute that he slips away, he can land that punch on the chin, and it's lights out.
that problem is there to the final bell, isn't it? That is your problem when the man's still there. But Rob, with 14 seconds to go, we've got to say possibly another big round for Watson.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, at the moment we're looking at 2 rounds to Watson. Phillips literally just covered up, curled up, defending himself to the end of the round.
Chris, he's looking for those moments, isn't he, Phillips? He must be.
Let's take a look at the replays here. Here you see the attempted guillotine choke. Phillips.
And this would have been a real upset, wouldn't it, at this point?
Oh, I think people would have been up in arms just wondering what happened. But here's this brutal knees that Watson has from that side position. Well, you know, let's not forget, this is not the first time that Watson's faced a heavy-handed opponent, too. I mean, he's had a war with Mark Epstein, came out victorious. He's a resilient fighter. I think that he can deal with the power, but it's whether Watson can connect on the chin.
So here we go.
Whether Phillips can connect on the chin of Watson, rather.
So here we go, third and final round. We have Watson 2 up, but a dangerous man still in front of him.
And you can see fantastic combination by John Phillips, and that's where he's dangerous. Watson really does need to be careful, because although he's 2 rounds ahead, Phillips could quite easily finish this in the blink of an eye.
Good step in there, a shot by Watson for the clinch, and there's the knees that he's constantly able to slip inside.
He's obviously drilled them consistently, Chris, because they come straight after. The moment he clinches, the knees come in.
You know, it's funny with John Phillips, it's like he doesn't even care about the rest of the game. He just imposes his boxing when they're in the clinch. But he's not going for takedowns. He's not really doing jiu-jitsu. He tried the guillotine choke, but really he's just waiting to clobber Tom Watson, and he's so resilient. It's like the submissions and the shot attempts don't count for much against him.
And Rob, a similar position to the second round, but he slips out this time.
That's right, Watson. Watson in the half guard of Phillips. And this is where we've seen the last 2 rounds. You know, we've seen Tom dominate this position, and I think we're going to see it again.
And it's been a fantastic mental imposition by him, isn't it? The concentration needed to avoid such a heavy hitter like that has been phenomenal from Watson.
It has. It's been very, very good, but Watson's capitalised on Phillips coming forward with those hands. You know, they've glanced by and he's managed to get the clinch or secure the takedown and put himself into the position we're seeing him in now.
You know, to Tom Watson's credit, when he has been hit with a powerful shot, I mean, he hasn't cringed one time either.
And Chris, looking at this though, if it stays this way and it's a 3-round shutout, do you think Phillips needs to go back to the drawing board to find ways to set up those hands? Everybody knows about his hands now. Do you think he needs to go back, think about it, and then give himself the opportunity to land them against a clever opponent?
Well, I think if he wants to move forward, that's a natural progression. But I think he's still, regardless of who he's fighting, he's so dangerous because he's a fighter that you just can't put him away easily, and he can hit you and hurt you the whole fight. But you know, Tom Watson's done a great job. He's controlled him and really eliminated that aspect of Phillips' game. So, yeah, if he is going to move forward in the ranks, he's probably got to come up with a different plan. But he's always going to be a dangerous fighter.
That's right. Phillips attempts an armbar. Tom Watson pops free quite easily. Moves again to side mount position.
And that's another thing we need to talk about, Rob. Watson's movement tonight, I think it's been phenomenal.
It has. It's been fantastic to watch, you know, and I said it earlier and I'll say it again, it shows his maturity as a fighter and the way that he's come along from boxer to MMA fighter.
And Chris, again,